Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have Magnus Carlsen versus Hans Niemann at the Esports World Cup on effectively day one. We had the last chance qualifiers, we had the play-in yesterday. Today is the group stage, the first day of the group stage. We're going to have some awesome clips and highlights from the day at the end of the video. But the game we have to look at is Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann. These two, it is fated that at every major tournament, these two must play for the remainder of their lives. How did this happen? Anyway, Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann. Now, at the Esports World Cup, you play, in the group stages, you play 2 games of 10+0. This was the first game. Magnus Carlsen had the white pieces. He played e4, Hans played e5. This is how the game started. We then had knight to f3, we had knight to c6, and we had bishop to b5, the Roy Lopez. We had a6, bishop to a4, knight to f6, short castles, bishop e7, d3, b5, now b3, bishop b3, short castles, a4, bishop b7, bishop g5, d6. What's interesting is this is the first time the players thought. So Magnus here spends almost 30 seconds on bishop to g5. Reason being is he's trying to get Hans to do something, to maybe kick him out and push some pawns. Typically, the bishop in the Roy Lopez, you don't know where to put it. So putting it out that far is quite interesting because it could end up here, in which case it's dead. So if it kicks out, it might have to just go back to like e3. Still very interesting. You might have seen Magnus maybe play like a c3 move or something like that. We get d6 from Hans, and he spends 20 seconds. Now we have takes, and we swap off the rooks. Queen takes a8 there. After 12 seconds, so still time is quite balanced. They both have over 9 minutes. They haven't thought a lot at all. And now Magnus comes with knight to c3. This ends up being quite a typical Spanish structure. We have knight to a5. So Hans decides to sack this pawn, but in exchange he's going to grab the bishop and have and damage Magnus's structure. Magnus takes, and the only move is knight takes b3. It's the only move for Hans to even try and remotely, because he's given up the pawn. So he has to take this. We take back this knight, but now queen b8, threatening potentially some sacrifices to win the knight back. So the knight goes to c3, and now we have h6. Again, where does Magnus put the bishop? He decides to take. And Magnus Carlsen is going to employ 2 knights versus 2 bishops. The players are equally balanced on the clock. It's Magnus's turn to think, and after making this decision, he spends 30 seconds on queen to c2. Now, 30 seconds isn't a lot in a classical game, but remember, they are playing 10+0. So if you get down on the clock, you have to beat your opponent, because otherwise he's going to flag you. So we have queen a7, now b4. Magnus is going to use his damage structure. He's down on the clock now, he's down 30 seconds. c6, just eliminating the possibility entirely of the knight going here. Thing is, Magnus has employed 2 knights, but they haven't really got outposts. They haven't got places to go. So he plays b5. Hans takes. Magnus has this weakness that is about to be exploited. So I don't know what his long-term plan is. We have queen a6, we have knight to c3, and now rook to c8. It just looks like Hans Niemann has a better position against the GOAT, Magnus Carlsen. But he steps out of the pin. Now bishop to c6, which is interesting, potentially maybe threatening to attack the queen or just centralizing the bishop. The knight now can't come forward at all. A bishop, 3 squares away from a knight completely dominates and doesn't allow it to come forward. Both bishops are dominating both knights at the moment, so Magnus has to play h3. And now here Hans spends a lot of time. He's up on the time, about 30 seconds. He spends 48 on bishop d8. Which is a strange move. But there's not much he can do. Because for all me not liking Magnus's position, Hans Niemann can't really touch any of his pawns. Like he can. He could very much just play like g6, bishop g7. But he may not want to do that. He can't at the moment play the move d5. So this is a weakness. It's not easy to target, but it is Hans Niemann's weakness. So it's not easy, but bishop d8 is very strange. We now get d4. Magnus, I told you, has got pawn mobility, so he initiates a pawn break. We have queen a5, spent after a minute. Magnus Carlsen now up 20 seconds before he makes his next move, and he uses them, and he decides to take. D takes e5, d takes e5. Now we are balanced on time once again. We have rook to d1, targeting that bishop. The bishop now comes out to b6. This was Hans Niemann's rerouting strategy to get the bishop here. Is it better placed? Probably. It's more active. Everything is aligned now towards Magnus's king. Vast improvement from when he was on f6, which is very interesting. And now Magnus makes a mistake. Knight d5 after 40 seconds of thought is not a good move. Takes, and now queen to c5. Hans Niemann has got the initiative. He's not better, but he's got the initiative. But Magnus is up a pawn. So rook f1. Guarding now rook e8. Queen a4. Rook d8. And now Magnus is up 2 pawns. All of a sudden, Hans Niemann is down 2 pawns. 2 pass pawns. Not easy to defend. I mean, he gets one back immediately, so he's only down 1 pawn as the knight goes back. But this should be a draw. Hans Niemann should be able to draw this. He should be able to pick up that pawn, and then everything will be on the same side. And there is no way Magnus Carlsen is going to lose this or win this. Surely not. Even the best endgame player in the world simply cannot win this. Surely not. As you know, his pieces get kicked around. We don't trade, but I mean, there's nothing happening here against the white king. There's nothing happening against the black king. The only thing is Hans Niemann is just currently unable to win this pawn. But it can't go forward. It can't go forward because if it lands on a dark square, then I'll be able to coordinate all 3 pieces and take it. So there's nothing to be done at the moment. The knight comes in. Rook comes in. The only thing is now the players are down under 2 minutes. The thing is you can maneuver all you want. It's going to come down to the clock. That is the Esports World Cup. It's not just about winning on the board, it's about winning on the clock. And we offer a rook trade, and now the queen gets in. Which is interesting, because the knight dies. Right? If you take the knight, it's dead. But queen takes f7 is devastating. Because let's say king h7. Now, at the very least, I'm picking the bishop back up. At the very least. So, yeah. Queen d5, now. Best move from Hans. Knight f5 comes in. Magnus causing some problems. Now we have h5. And he just seems to be creating some problems. And all of a sudden, the b-pawn has crept forward. You can't forget about this as Hans Niemann. It's very tempting to be like, okay, Magnus is now coming for my king. Magnus is still somehow operating on both sides of the board. Queen d7. Now we trade queens. Is that good? Is that bad? It should still be a draw as the knight gets kicked back. And now the pawn officially can't move. But Magnus has pushed all these other pawns. And he loses that one. But he gets this one. And he is still up a pawn. He's up 12 seconds off the king to f7. He's up 13 seconds or so. You know, there's like a point here or there. And he's got knight versus bishop. This, as I have said, should be a draw. Should be. King f3, bishop d2. King e4, bishop c1. Knight d4, bishop d2. King e2, king f6. Knight d4, bishop c1. Knight b3, bishop b2. Knight c5, bishop c1. There is, like, no way for either player to make progress. The bishop and the knight just go round and round and round. Eventually, the white king comes in. And knight b6, by the way, how clutch from Magnus Carlsen. Because at this point, that is the only move. Like, he's got 2 moves. He's got knight b6, or he's got knight c7. And I think those are the only 2 moves that kind of try and give him anything. Knight b6 is a great move. And bishop a3 is a mistake. Bishop a3 is a mistake. Now, knight c4 comes in. And somehow, out of nowhere, Magnus Carlsen has found the right coordination. And the bishop is kind of getting in the wrong way. The king is coming in. And black is running out of moves. Bishop d2. The king comes to g6. King f8. Now we push the pawn again. And Magnus Carlsen is only up 1 pawn. But if he gets a second pawn up, or he picks it up a final pawn, and after knight to c5, Hans Niemann resigns the game. It's unbelievable. He's down 1 pawn. You would think, why would you resign? Well, Magnus Carlsen's got 33 seconds. Hans Niemann's got 17. The thing is, right? Let's say you play king g8. King g8. Knight e6 is coming. And you just move the bishop. Say e3. Bishop e3. knight g7 is coming. Let's say king f8, and now here, and you will not win this endgame. We get eventually to the last pawn, and now it is 2-1-0. The king can't defend. Unbelievable from Magnus Carlsen, extracting once again water from stone. And yeah, that's basically it. We'll go look through the brackets so far and how the event has unfolded. It's just easier here. So this is Group B. Magnus Carlsen defeated Andrey Esipenko. Hans Niemann defeated Jan Nepomniachtchi, setting up their clash. We know the winner there. Denis Lazovic defeated Sina Muavid. And Hikaru Nakamura defeated Alexei Sarana. And then Hikaru Nakamura defeated Denis Lazovic. So tomorrow, we are getting Magnus Carlsen versus Hikaru Nakamura. I think. I'm not entirely sure if we're getting them. I believe so because it's double elimination. So I think we are getting this. If I'm not mistaken. In terms of the losers bracket, we of course, the 4 losers from the first round get knocked down. So Esipenko will play Nepomniachtchi and Maverick will play Sarana. And then we know Lazovic and Hans Niemann have already dropped down there. So the majority of what will happen tomorrow is the losers bracket. I'm not entirely sure if Magnus versus Hikaru is tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure if they're actually going to play in the group stages. In terms of Group A, Alireza Firouzja defeated Wei Yi, who of course got through with the play-in. And then Arjun Erigaisi defeated Nihal Sarin 2-zip. Alireza Firouzja defeated Arjun Erigaisi to kind of progress to the winners final. Jan Krzysztof Duda defeated Benjamin Bok. And Nodirbek Abdusattorov defeated Pranash M. And then Nodirbek Abdusattorov defeated Jan Krzysztof Duda. So tomorrow we could be getting Alireza Firouzja versus Nodirbek Abdusattorov. And then of course all of the guys who have lost have dropped into the losers bracket. So we'll get Wei Yi and Nihal Sarin, Benjamin Bok and Pranash M, and then Jan Krzysztof Duda versus the winner of that Wei Yi and Nihal Sarin matchup, Arjun Erigaisi versus the winner of the Benjamin Bok Pranash M matchup, and so on and so forth. Of course, it's double elimination. I just want to double check the official thing in terms of the format. So group stage 16. Each group plays a double elimination bracket. Matches consist of the upper bracket and the lower bracket of each group are played out. I'm trying to remember the top 4 from each group. So Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura should already be through, so far as I understand. Let's see if there's a chess.com news article about it. Yeah, Carlsen, Nakamura, Firouzja, Abdusattorov reach Esports World Cup. Yeah, so we won't be getting Carlsen, Nakamura just yet. They are through, as is Alireza Firouzja and Nodirbek Abdusattorov, because they got to the winners finals. So then the 2 who progress in the furthest in the lowest bracket will then go through. So if we then go into the playoffs, I wonder if it is already... No, they haven't put together the bracket just yet. Yeah, so we're still in the group stages. So we've got the lower bracket to find out the 2 players who will go the furthest there. So the 2 players who kind of reach like this point, I think, will go through. So it'll be the winners of the Dennis versus winner E match and Hans versus whoever match. They'll go through, and then in Group A, it will be the Jan Krzysztof Duda matchup and the Arjun Erigaisi matchup. The winners of these 2 matchups will then join Firouzja and Nodirbek from Group A going through. And that is how everything stands, ladies and gentlemen, after the first day of group stage. Now for some highlights from the day that I've managed to find for you. Let me know if you enjoy it in the comments down below.
So difficult. Magnus has set up what looks like almost a fortress. White's king cannot bypass the black pawns, the black bishop. More traitor pawns would get closer to a draw, but the white king is going around the long way now.
And look how Magnus has kept his king and bishop far away, living on different continents right now to not walk into any potential forks in the position.
Oh, and it's a draw by repetition. Andrey Esipenko blunders into the draw. No chance there to flag Magnus. Magnus clings on, but that was so close to the wire.
What a battle as we see the players shake hands, and Magnus knows it as well, how he survived that one. What a moment, having a winning advantage at some point and then just relinquishing all of that, and for Esipenko to find those moments to create something again.
Now black
what
is
are
fine,
we witnessing?
but 40 seconds for Nepo. And he gives the
takes
queen.
The king. What?
King G7.
And now white is up
Oh, he mouse slipped. He mouse slipped.
He mouse slipped. No.
He mouse slipped. He wanted rook B1 check.
And Hans is cheering in the air, and Nepo is frustrated beyond belief.
Unbelievable. What did we just see?
That is not a happy result.
King was Will we see 50 moves of rook versus rook before that inevitably happens? And we're going to find out the first question. Magnus is going to offer a rook trade. Rooks come off. Hands looked away. Magnus clinches it. The draw with the match.
What? G7. And now mouse slipped. He mouse slipped. Mouse slipped. No. He mouse slipped. He wanted
5 seconds on the clock. No increment, no bonus time, and that's how mistakes happen. He finds, but it's the wrong square. He gives a check, the black king completely safe, and now it's all about that one lone pass on the left side. Watch it go forward.
Oh, what a beautiful hiding spot Hikaru's found for the Black King. The Black King is hiding behind enemy lines, using the enemy pawns as shields, and here we go, the pawns are disappearing. Hikaru with so much time, no queen trade allowed, 2-pawn advantage. Black is so close to victory, no more checks, and the pawn pushes.
And it's under 10 seconds for Alexei Serrano. 2 pawns down. This, you do not survive. And just like that, he did set up a little trick at the end, but Hikaru just too quick and just too fast and just too strong for that. It is Hikaru Nakamura. It is Team Falcons who takes the win.
Beautiful from both players there. Trick from Serrano, but no stalemate. Hikaru saying, no, no, no. I shut the door on that one. Hikaru too strong, too classy in the endgame. Handshake between the players. Ultimately, it was so close. Could have gone either way. Serrano, though, missing those chances in the first game.
Dennis only has 6 seconds to his name.
This
is impossible to defend. And he loses a rook. He loses the game.
The rook
Hikaru Nakamura takes this game 1 with the black pieces.
Hikaru's angry because he had a winning position. He messed up and he had to go into the dark arts of flagging to win this game while he